This is Howard B. Richmond from ballpointpensprings.com. I want to show you how to replace the refill in your Kimberly Pockette pen made by Eversharp starting in 1947. This is a really unusual item because this was one of the first ballpoint pens that were available. And from what I have learned, originally there was a spring inside here, but the spring just created a little bounce to the tip. There was no retraction. So you can play around with the length of it. If you notice here, if you look really closely on the tip, it doesn't protrude very much. And it can't protrude very much because this is as far as it comes out. It's designed to not protrude. It can't protrude. So this may or may not have been the original refill. And I understand that there was a little spring in there. And the purpose of the spring was probably to create a little bit of bounce to the refill. Why would you want that is because from what I have learned is that since this was one of the original ballpoint pens, that people were accustomed to a fountain pen, which has a little bit of a bounce. So they wanted that little cushion, but modern ballpoint pen users don't need that. So this one doesn't have a spring, but if yours had a spring and you don't need that, you might want to cut this to match it just a little bit longer than the refill that was in there. But this particular one doesn't have a spring and it looks like it's the right length. So you get one of our partial X10 refills, and that allows you to cut it off and the ink won't drip out. And you match it up to the right length and you cut it to match it. Or it might be that you want to cut it a little longer. It depends on if you have a spring or not. You could use scissors if you prefer. And then you just stick that in there and this goes right on there. It screws right on. And this is the cover. Now it looks to me like I didn't make it long enough because it's not coming out far enough. So I think what I need to do is to recut it just a little bit longer. So I learned the hard way. You should probably cut it longer than you need in the first place. There, test it out. Perfect. And that's how to replace the refill in your Kimberly Pockette pen from the 1947.